Finnick. I'm the broker and owner of RE/MAX Center, and today I have Susan Craig, and we're going to talk about Leadstreet and how she found her success in real estate by finding this amazing tool that RE/MAX offers, Leadstreet. Susan, thank you very much, and I just need you to tell me your story about how you came about finding Leadstreet and the success you're having right now.
Okay, well, back in June, a neighbor convinced me to become a realtor, and so I went and took the test and got my real estate license. And then after I passed the test, I was like, okay, now what? And so everyone kept talking to me about going and contacting my sphere of influence. So I did that with no success. For a couple months, I just kind of struggled saying, I don't know if real estate's really what I want to do. Finally, in August or September, my sister-in-law wanted to put her house on the market, so I finally got my first transaction going and closed that in October. But still, nothing else was happening, and everyone kept telling me I was crazy to be in the real estate market because the market was so down. So I was like, what am I going to do now? And so I went online and I started looking at the different tools that RE/MAX has, RE/MAX Design Center, and then Leadstreet, and I stumbled upon Leadstreet and started trying to find out more about Leadstreet and what it could do for me. And so I started playing with Leadstreet. I was a little bit confused, so I went to the RE/MAX regional training class and learned more about Leadstreet, went back home, and then I started working Leadstreet and taking each lead one at a time, and before I knew it, my pipeline was building up. I was a little frustrated at the beginning because it was taking a few months to actually get these leads to want to move. Like, people don't want to just buy instantly. But once I started working the leads and started working with the clients, about 2 to 3 months later, all of a sudden I got my first sale through Leadstreet, and then from that point forward, I now have 7 leads that I'm working right now, and I've closed $2.3 million worth of business today.
Yeah,
off of Leadstreet.
You've done almost 10 transactions this year, or
yes,
right
yes.
around 10, and you got 7 more in the pipeline.
Absolutely.
Ready to go.
Yeah, and
so,
only one of them came from someone I knew. All the rest were off of Leadstreet.
So you're off to a really good start for
Absolutely.
a new agent.
Absolutely. I'm so excited. Everyone keeps saying, what are you doing? What are you doing? What's your secret? And I'm like, it's Leadstreet. I mean, I don't even have to pay a penny, and I get all these leads coming to me. All I have to do, though, is really work the leads. They're not easy. A lot of times I have to put a lot of effort into finding more information out about the leads. But once I get a lead and qualify it, I walk it right to the closing table, and it's been wonderful.
Good. You talked about touch points a couple of times, and that's a unique phrase for a real estate agent to use. But touch points meaning how many times you get in communication with people. Can you tell me a little bit how you do that?
Yeah, you can't just take a lead and call them one time and say, oh, that's a bad lead. The first thing I do once I get a lead is I go and put them on an email drip campaign through Leadstreet. That's just one touch point. I have another touch point. I have a personal email. But anyway, I have a lot of different things that I do to touch that client, whether it's dropping them a card in the mail, calling them, sending them an email, putting them on the email campaign. I have to touch them a lot of different times in order to really make them come to be a full qualified client of mine.
Okay. Now, the first 2 or 3 months with Leadstreet.
Yeah. It was frustrating. The first 2 or 3 months, I'm like, I thought you just got a lead and then they wanted to buy a house and you take them out and they go buy a house. But that's not how it works. People want to take their time. This is a big investment for them. So once I started understanding that, I take a lead and then I realized I had to walk them through. An average lead, I'll get a lead, it takes from 3 to 6 months to close that lead. So it takes a little time.
Amen. But you build the pipeline. You talk pipeline.
Pipeline, yeah.
Get a few people in each part of the stages. So any agent new to the business or in the RE/MAX system, should they believe in Leadstreet?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I wouldn't be a realtor today if it wasn't for Leadstreet. I mean, I know that sounds corny, but Leadstreet has made me successful, and I'm going to make, $100,000 this year, my first year being a realtor, when the market's supposed to be at the worst.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make great money this year. Yeah. And it's fun. I mean, I'm really enjoying it.
You do. I can tell you enjoy it.
I love it, yeah.
Well, thank you for your time, and the next part of this is I'd like you to come back and tell us your system so that people can do what you've done, develop a system, work those leads, and become successful.
Okay, great. It's great. Thank you.
Thank you.